I've been trying to tell you guys about certain agendas here in the United States where depopulation of American citizens is very crucial to the type of world that these Zionists want to make, these cabals want to make, these occults, the World Economic Forum, right? They want to control your future and control how many people can live in this future. There's something called Project Pogo and Project Zephyr that I should have talked to you guys about a minute ago. Luckily, somebody here has made a video about it. Well, I do encourage you to go through my Instagram a bit more, go through my other reels, and look how the stuff I'm talking about does build up to a whole depopulation, a whole mass mind control event, a huge SOP event, whether it's Project Bluebeam, whether it's a civil war here in America. Like, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. The towers, these cell phone towers, the shots that have these digital IDs in them, and other nanotechnologies that connect you through Bluetooth signals, right, to these cell phone towers. Like, this is real shit. This is how they're going to be able to track people in the new world that they're...
That the entire Great Awakening was a psyop headed by controlled opposition figureheads designed to reveal any dissidents to the pro-government, pro-Israel movement of America. Be crazy. Anyway, have you ever heard of the Zephyr plan?
Allegedly, David Goldberg was a researcher with a White House insider source, as well as intelligence officials. David was Jewish and Zionist and was horrified in 2019 after learning of Zionist plans through White House memos and other internal documents describing two projects, Project Pogo and Project Zephyr, a two-stage plan. For Pogo, they would utilize TTID, Tag, Track, and ID. They would use this for dissidents, nationalists, patriots, anyone who would pose a long-term threat. They used YouTube gatekeepers, like Alex Jones, to create a space for alternative thinkers. They were all agents paid to put out truthful information to tag, track, and identify the people who were watching and interacting, basically using alt media influencers as honeypots. They then created databases of Americans who were awake. Remember, Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, and Tucker Carlson all have CIA daddies. Their targets are anti-Zionists, anti-Semites, Christians discussing Synagogue of Satan, Muslims, any Goyim who won't conform, and anyone aware of and opposing Zionist world government plans. Project Zephyr, the second stage, the extermination. High-value targets will be taken out through kidnappings via a U.S.-based Israeli Defense Force, or ICE. The low-value targets would be taken out through viruses or other widely applicable means. At the time, they were working on COVID. Goldberg estimated the total number of dissidents to be around 15% of Americans, and that was in 2019. He also said that if there were too many dissidents, they would then conduct power outages and purge-style attacks to take people from their homes and place them into camps. He said that they might blame it on Iran, and false flags would probably take place to make the U.S. go to war with Iran in order to further Israel's Greater Israel Project. It discusses foot soldiers from the U.S. and nuclear weapons being used in Iran. The memos also said that Donald Trump had converted to Judaism in 2017 and joined the Chabad Lubavitch Synagogue in New York and had been meeting with high-level rabbis in which these plans were discussed. These plans said several times that he would have to declare himself King of Israel publicly to symbolically declare the start of the plans. Trump is not just a Jew, according to the memos, he's a Freemason, and allegedly has been promised high-ranking positions for his children in the government that they're forming, which will be headquartered in Jerusalem. David posted his findings on his YouTube channel. His channel was then scrubbed. David Goldberg died on June 8, 2019, in his Brooklyn apartment. He was found by his neighbor dead on the floor, with foam coming out of his mouth and no apparent cause of death. No cause of death has ever been publicly released. His friends claim that the police took a lot of his things, much more than they should have for the situation. All data about David Goldberg has been scrubbed from the internet.
All right, we outside with it now. Like I said before, there's always going to be some type of effort of depopulating the American citizens, whether it's, and they make it public too. It's right in front of our faces. One of the people I like to give an example about is Bill Gates. This nigga is crazy. Bro is literally the equivalent to like fucking Dr. Doofenshmirtz or something in this reality. Like, he's literally a mad scientist, but he admits to wanting to use vaccines to control population control. Now, another thing is with these vaccines, this draconian juice, I want y'all to really truly grasp the idea that these vaccines contain Nephilim blood, and I have no hard evidence about this. You just have to really tap in. You got to really tap in internally and also do the research of the rabbit hole for this type of stuff when it comes to transhumanism, hybridization, Project Bluebeam, Agenda 2030, like all this stuff, it all connects. But they are trying to create super soldiers, hybrids, the whole alien invasion. You guys got to comprehend the fact that the aliens are already here. They've been here because they've been cast out of heaven. Now they're trying to get back up by intercepting Chosen One's DNA, unlocking, getting access to source through your memories type shit. Now that's a whole nother video, but look, I'm going to show you guys something when it comes to this whole population control. So Bill Gates, he admitted in 2010 that he wants to use vaccines for population control. Numerous times. Look at this.
It has 4 factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to 0. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to 0. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to 0. That's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Many believed that Bill Gates somehow misspoke when he attributed successful depopulation to the vaccines. But it's now evident that he didn't. He was being very clear about the intentions of the globalist agenda. Kill 99.99% of all humans. According to these psychopaths, this is how we will save the planet. And they have convinced an overwhelming amount of the world's population into accepting their agenda and pushing for it. People who believe that humans need to be aborted and believe the human race needs to be culled into a small compliant herd. People that are okay with billions of people starving so long as the screens on their devices tell them it's the right thing to do. But not everyone has gone insane. Some still have a survival instinct. When the Dutch government voted in a scheme that will force farmers to cut their livestock down to unsustainable levels, thereby forcing them out of work and shutting down the second biggest food exporter in the world, the farmers did the right thing and said no. And protests have broken out all throughout the Netherlands. Shutting down the world's second biggest food exporter is all part of the anti-human zero emissions plan. And so the Dutch farmers aren't just protesting losing their jobs, they are protesting the mass murder of the world's population. Just like the Canadian truckers and farmers did last winter, and just like the Canadian police sided with the tyrants, the Dutch cops are doing the same. Police drawing their sidearms on peaceful protesters and opening fire on them.
Nee, hey, wapens jongen, wapens! Hey, wallah, rij weg jongen, rij weg!
Zo, je nog meer maar wapens.
Using undercover agents and provoking violence to shut down peaceful gatherings. Because the globalists are not taking no for an answer. And while you may back the blue, chances are that they won't back you when it comes to the globalist agenda, which has now enlisted A-list celebrities to convince us all to eat bugs.
I'm Nicole Kidman, and I am going to eat a 4-course meal of bugs.
They're trying to persuade us into dying peacefully, like good, obedient slaves. But soon the food will start to run out. And worse, more signs of kinetic world war on the horizon as Japan's longest-standing Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is assassinated. And former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev joins President Putin in threatening nuclear annihilation if the United States continues their provocations, which is exactly what the Extinction Rebellion wants. And it's what the Biden administration wants. It's what everyone in charge wants. The only way out of this is a worldwide people's revolution. The Dutch farmers have begun, and they have been joined by people from other nations. The revolution will not be televised. And if you want to stand up against evil, then now is the time.
All right, now I want to show y'all some of my old videos of me talking about different, more extreme ways of population control when it comes to bioweapons, chemical warfare, civil wars, even down to spirituality and paranormal shit, where these people, our governments, they actually control UFOs. Like, they actually make UFOs. They've worked with these entities because they are these entities that we call aliens and shit like that, right? When I tell you guys, they're doing human trafficking and murder through UAPs, man-made UFOs and shit like that. It is a real thing. This is one side that MUFON and all of them don't want you to know about when it comes to UFO abductions. A lot of people, it's not just cattle mutilations, but it's human mutilation. People with their eyes gouged out, people with missing teeth, people with men with missing testicles and shit like that. It's a real thing. This comes down to a lot of sacrificial shit too, blood magic sacrifices. We are dealing with some real evil here, and as individuals, God made, like I said, I don't want to sound religious, but we are literally made by our Creator in our purest form. We're not out here killing anybody, doing anything wrong. If we step into our true frequency of self and recognize who we are inside, recognize how powerful we are, we could knock this whole thing down. We can stop all of this. But here, I'm rambling now. Let me show you some of my old videos.
If you look again in the nanotechnology literature, here are these liquid crystal self-assembly nanorods for mesostructures material preparation, and this is all for the self-assembled photonic nano devices.
Ребят, всем привет. В общем, ситуация такая, то что мы знаем то, что наше правительство занимается такими вещами, как массовая вакцинация. Вот, не все так, как это нам преподносится.
Now, the nanotechnology that we're being injected with by our government, take a look at this when I talk about alien abductions and implant. Going down the alien rabbit hole, the UFO rabbit hole during elementary school, there was always talk about abductions and implants, tracking devices, so that the abductees were tracked, so that they're activated at a certain moment, so that they can hear the aliens communicate with them. What if I told you it's been our government? It's not people coming from space entirely. They have the technology to reverse engineer the UFOs. They have the technology to chip us. They have the technology to track us. They have the technology to do anything they want. They're working in cahoots with these aliens, these demonics.
This is the first specimen. This is actually a nanowire. Our bodies don't reject these biosensors, and so our tissues will engulf them. So there is no rejection of these. And they come in various shapes and sizes. This was a politician in Southern California in the early 40s, 50s, up into the early 90s. They used to be the size of a grain of rice. Now they were able to trace through the digital serial number of this microchip. And this microchip went back to an NSA database. It's a special forces soldier. There was a frequency that was detected we had not detected in the last 20 years that we've been doing this. when we traced this signal, we expected it to be a frequency that was owned by the United States. And it wasn't. It was actually owned by NATO. And so we're like, well, what the heck? Why would NATO have the license rights on this frequency, particularly coming from a U.S. Special Ops soldier?
Okay, nanotechnology. This is a mesogen. So I found this in unvaccinated blood. And you can see here how they self-assemble. They have all this wiring in between. So this is electronic circuitry, actually.
These little quantum dot-like microstructures are literally self-assembling this. And so you
shows the ufologists his arm. There appears to be an object implanted under the skin. He says that the alien put it there during his last encounter.
So now, why did I show you that? Because I have to start things off on the sci-fi end. So as I tone it down with the more down-to-earth shit, you would understand. With the RFID chips, the implants, how I said people are activated, the abductees are activated at a certain time to go to a certain point to meet these aliens. Because this is what happens. This, bro, in the 90s, the 80s, bro, y'all don't understand our history. But niggas would get abducted once, get an implant. They are then summoned. They're waking up in the middle of the night. It could be 3 a.m. They could be hearing voices or some shit telling them to go out to their driveway or their backyard or the river in the woods by their crib or some shit, right? And once they get to that spot, they are going to be met with aliens. Maybe sometimes it is. You're going to go back to their underground bunker. You're going to be groped, molested. You're going to be fucking trained psychically for whatever Space Force program. Like, there are different factions that do different things with different candidates, Manchurian candidates. That's what it comes down to, and that's what I want to get into now. This same technology has been used since eons when it comes to MK Ultra and Project Monarch, even down to the traumatization, bro, the tactics. That's why when it comes to aliens and shit like that, you hear the person getting probed or whatever. That's trauma. That trauma makes you disassociate from your current body.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating.
Spawned from MK Ultra was Project Monarch, in which victims, usually young children, are subjected to intense trauma, inflicted to the point at which their minds dissociate from the experience. This causes a form of multiple personality disorder, allowing the programmer or handler to mold these dissociated minds into new controllable personalities. From there, triggers are put in place so that these mind-controlled slaves can be called upon to perform whatever actions they have been programmed to do. There are various stages or types of programming to service different needs, such as increased memory ability, physical strength, or fearlessness. This was used to create the programmable assassins, as was popularized by the Manchurian Candidate.
Serried Progressive, listen. Mandelbrot set is in motion. Echo Choir has been breached.
Is that a lyric from something?
Agent Hal has been activated. He killed 2 operatives with a spoon, sir.
A spoon? What? We're terminating a dead.
Project Monarch is so named for a variety of reasons, mostly related to the specific traits of the monarch butterfly. The traumatization, typically electroshock therapy, causes a feeling of lightheadedness, or fluttering like a butterfly. The area around the corpus callosum in the brain, which is where the 2 hemispheres communicate, looks strikingly similar to a butterfly in section view. Of complete and total rule by a monarchy. And could there be a significance to the butt in butterfly, since sodomy is a key component to mind control?
Wow, like I said, probing when it comes to alien abductions. When I tell you guys everything is controlled, down to the point the alien agenda is a fucking hoax. There are aliens here. And they're demons. They're fucked up human beings. evil ass human beings. Niggas like Epstein, and these people are fucking evil as hell. These are Rothschilds, Canaanites, the Bilderbergs, right? These are people that we hear every day on TV. Bro, Klaus Schwab, Netanyahu, bro. All of this shit is a transhumanist dream. Elon Musk, bro. They're all a part of this shit. They are all a part of the MK Ultra programs, the transhumanist agenda, the depopulation agenda. I'm sorry. I'm just very passionate about it because I've been yapping about this shit for a minute now, and I want to see it change to the point, nigga, I won't say it on here. Really, if you want to see what these cybernetic beings look like, actually, before I show you this next segment of the video, I want to pause and show you what Candace Owens talks about when it comes to Elon Musk and this whole transhumanist thing. Her and some other nigga, and I don't know his name, I forgot already, but look.
I'm telling you, I don't even think these people are human. Like, I look at Elon Musk and Sam Altman and Peter Thiel, and I'm pretty sure they're hybrid. You know what I mean? Like, they just look like an Apple software that I should be able to download at night, you know? Like, my phone's getting an update or something. It's something in the eyes. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I know I'm human, but I don't know if I stabbed you if you bleed, you know? I'm not going to stab them, but I don't know if they bleed all the way. I think a battery would fall out. You know what I mean? And I just get that sense. I've always known it was demonic. And people just get on board because, as we talked about in this book, they are using science and this idea of technology and this idea of transforming society for the better to indoctrinate us into accepting this. And it's wrong and it's backwards. And the main component of all of this is psychology, right? They're able to do it because of psychology, making you think that society has gotten better. Our kids have objectively gotten dumber. We've become fatter. We've become less healthy. We've become less emotionally sound. And yet they are convincing us that this is like humanity's great leap forward. We put a man on the moon, and he just like called them up and was like, hey, Prez, what's up? I'm up here. Yeah, it's so cool. It's really great. It's nice. Starry night up here. Okay, I'm gonna text you. I gotta go by in 69. And they get these people, they tell you like he's a genius. They're all writing like he's a genius. So we should just accept that Elon Musk is a genius because like all the writers who are obviously indoctrinated into the occult are telling us that this is the next person that we should worship. The establishment of Hollywood. It was all cults. They were all Aleister Crowley proteges who were just raping kids and summoning demons, and demons are real. So at the same time that they're summoning demons, they are making us all believe that faith is not real. And that has been, I think, the greatest trick that the devil ever played, right? Is making people think that he didn't exist and making people atheist, making people believe that there's nothing, like you're here for a moment in time, because then it allows them to further tether us to their reality and to their God, which is money, right? Well, if you truly knew and believed, like I do, I actually know that this is not it. Like I know this is not it. But if you truly believed that, you wouldn't sell your soul. People think that that's just like an expression. Oh, he sold his soul. No, you are literally selling your soul. Like when you tell lies and you go down a path of lying because you're so afraid of not having the security of a paycheck, or you're willing to do something terrible to maintain that job, or keeping your mouth shut to maintain that job. We're seeing it right now with the Charlie Kirk case, right? You're selling your soul. Like there's a life after this. They have made you pledge your allegiance to their dollar because they know life is going on. They know that. They want you to literally sell them your soul. That's my personal belief.
Interracial alien mating? What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you please unpack that?
I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army. Came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened. And what he wanted was a group members of Congress to all show up at the same time at all of these different locations so that any of those activities could not be moved. And of course, it's a physical impossibility to get members of Congress to simultaneously show up at like 8 locations at one time. And so that never occurred.
Of them for some reason who worship these dragon gods, when their God will return and the earth will enter into a new age of elevated mankind. Most of them also, by the way, would speak in terms in their own mysticism, as I was talking about last night. We are heading towards a time where men are going to become demigods, according to the transhumanists, but they say the same thing in their own language. Man is going to be elevated. We're going to have a new golden age. The gods are going to return, and men with gods are going to be blended. It's all part of their prophecy. Is it exactly what the transhumanists are saying now? The mystics of old were saying the same thing. The day will come when we will need to rejuvenate, recalibrate, alter, re-engineer humanity so that once again we can be an offspring of the immortal.
Black magic, conjuring these demons, communicating with these demons, and it's well known that these Nazis were in communication with the supposed reptilians, the lizard people, these Vril entities, the gray aliens, and all this stuff. You can see how they're all demonically possessed. These Nazi SS, who all claim to be Christian, and they're doing seances, and they're doing witchcraft and pentagrams and conjuring up these demonic entities. And then as the war ended, all of these Nazi occultists come into the United States and NATO countries through this Operation Paperclip.
I'm trying to show y'all. This next phase of this video is the last part, okay, and it is the alien deception, right? So I'm going to show you guys a few clips right here from, what's his face? Stephen Greer, who talks about a black budget program when it comes to alien abductions using reverse engineered technology or just man-made technology, right? And this technology is being misused to create anti-gravity vehicles and create fake abduction scenarios. Men that look like you, that look like me, are going out in anti-gravity vehicles, black triangles, let's be more specific. Of course, other vehicles in different shapes, but let's go with the black triangles, right? That's the most common. The black triangles are mainly used to abduct individuals, to either spread fear with the whole alien agenda. Some people like Stephen Greer try to argue that this is done so we mistrust, we don't have trust in the aliens when they return, and try to, you know, get their star children, get their star seeds and all that shit. I'm not sure how true that is, but I mean, it's a cool thought, right? Another part is that they are doing this to spread fear and misinformation to make you think that we need to worry about a threat outside of this galaxy, outside this planet rather. We are looking at the stars for threats. The real threats towards the extinction of humanity are people in our government, are people in the military-industrial complex, people in the political elite, people in these secret societies that are a part of the political elite. People like the Rothschilds, people like the Bilderbergs, people like the Illuminati, people like the fucking Clintons, people like the Epstein, people like Epstein, people like Erica Kirk, my nigga. People like Elon Musk, people in the scientific elite, people like Bill Gates, people like Netanyahu, people in the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, people like, bro. There are so many names out there, and they're all in your face every day through the news and media, which is funny that you're not recognizing their agendas, because I'm not even going to get started. Look, all I'm trying to say is something is going to happen very soon in your lifetime, and it is up to you to get prepared for yourself, but mainly for your family, to survive with this, because this shit has happened through history. This shit has already happened before. This happens time and time again, which is why with the Kali Yuga cycles, you see that there's what they call the Iron Age, where man merges with the gods and all that shit, becoming godlike and all that. Like, that is what the transhumanism. This has happened before. History repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun. That's why it's so important for you to exit the matrix. Souls, true souls, come back here to talk about this stuff. Like, you got Martin Luther King, you got before he got hijacked, you got what's his face, Malcolm X, You've got the Black Panthers, bro. You've got all these people. You've got Jesus Christ. You've got Buddha. You've got Krishna. You've got what's that other guy's name? I'm really trying to think of that one person. Sabian Toko. You've got all these individuals that are out here with these capabilities, these extraordinary capabilities. You've what to take away from this video, because I've been yapping long enough. What to take away from this video is the fact that you guys need to realize the aliens are already here, and they are invading through colonization when it comes to gene editing, so they could put their memories into yours, and depopulation, because the less humans that are here, the more that it'll be easier to control the few. It'd be easier to control the few. I'm gonna actually throw that clip up too, because that's from one of the frantic callers from Area 51. Alright, yo, I'm a fucking yapathon. Alright, my bad. Look. Alright, I'm going to show you guys just a couple more clips. I'm not going to yap anymore after these clips. The video is going to end right here, basically, when it comes to me. Please, just remember to fast, use a sauna, detox, workout, meditate, mindfulness, all types of things to bring you back into your eternal recognition of who you are. Everything is inside of you. You are connected with cosmic dust. If you look under a human ash under a microscope, look it up. You are connected to the sand, the waters, bro, the earth, fire, water, bro, everything. You are connected to the air, the elements, all right? This is something that these demons have lost, a connection to source, which is why they want to blueprint your brain. They want to map out your brain, your consciousness. That being said, the whole alien deception is banned. It's been making it look like aliens are abducting people. This last phase of this, I want to show you guys the alien deception. Now, there probably are, look, my thing is, there probably are aliens on other planets, but right now we're dealing with the ones right here, the Dracos, the Vril, right? These beings that are parasites that inhabit a human host. Like, look up the zoonosis theory and Toxoplasma gondii. These alien parasites actually hijack the human brain through the spinal column, spinal fluid, nigga, through the fucking brain, the neocortex, and they take over the man and actually hijack and try to create a world built for these beings to like live. These are actual parasites from meteorites and shit. Like, it's unbelievable. But the point is, they are man right now. They look like you and I. We need to focus on that part. There are no big head, big eyed beings right now. There probably are, but like right now we need to focus on the people that look like us within our government. So that being said, this next segment once again is about the alien deception.
Secretive project within the Department of Defense involving the manipulation of human genetics with what is described as non-human genetic material, potentially for the enhancement of human capabilities.
In 1947, a spacecraft was reportedly recovered in New Mexico. No doubt you know of this, and of the reported recovery of a body at the site. These incidents coincided with not only the end of World War II, but an ignominious project which brought Nazi scientists and war criminals to this country to exploit their knowledge.
Operation Paperclip.
Dr. Joseph Mengele, the Nazi angel of death.
Mengele thought that he could produce a super race through genetic engineering.
As did many of his colleagues.
Kemper was trying to create an alien-human hybrid. That's what I saw in the boxcar. He was using humans.
Redundant military installations, S4, Groom Lake, Wright-Patterson, and Dulce. Extracting alien tissue. Tests were done on unsuspecting human subjects. And elaborately staged abductions in craft using alien technology recovered from the down saucers. Including human hybridization through gene editing.
So they beta tested and have been testing on the public sightings that are man-made UFOs, often piggybacking on sightings of actual ET craft with certain makeup and masks on these anti-gravities who would go then and abduct people. So there have been abduction squads, and when it has suited the intelligence community, they have engaged in human abductions that 100% fool those poor victims.
first identified flying object is no monster, and it certainly isn't a toy. The skyship is a serious and practical attempt to solve the problem of fast but safe transport. Its designer, John West, considers the 30-foot saucer has untold possibilities. But this all-British prototype will be a mere flea beside the skyship he hopes to build, first an intermediate model of 200 feet, and then a jumbo of 700 feet diameter, if money is forthcoming. The test flight is radio-controlled. Skyship number 1 maneuvers well on its 4 engines. Lift is provided by the non-inflammable gas helium. The flying saucer design is no gimmick. The shape lends itself to easier handling, less wind resistance, and will enable the skyship to land anywhere. At last, science is catching up with fiction.
Tatsächlich gibt es fliegende Untertassen aus irdischer Produktion. Hier sehen Sie zum Beispiel das Avrocar, das unter strengster Geheimhaltung 1955 entwickelt wurde. In einem CIA-Memorandum heißt es, die Entwicklung des Avrocars basiere auf Ergebnissen, die deutsche Wissenschaftler während des Zweiten Weltkriegs erarbeitet hätten. Hier sehen Sie übrigens den einzigen Film, der 1960 über die streng geheimen Testflüge in Kanada gedreht wurde. Warum gab es Testflüge mit fliegenden Untertassen in den 50er Jahren, von denen im Untersuchungsbericht des Blue Book Projekts behauptet wird, sie würden gar nicht...
So in the past, I've talked about the same topic over and over again, how the alien invasion isn't coming from space, it's coming through man. Nanotechnology that's in the vaccines, the mRNA that's coming from the nanobots is reverse engineering people's DNA, altering them, turning them into non-humans. You could say that the vaccines contain the blood of the draconian reptilians, the Nephilim, it's the same thing. It's kind of funny how Trump said his blood was in the vaccine. Literally, the internet is scrubbed of that tweet. This is literally the only one I could find with the little shit emoji on. The movie Weapons that just came out is about this transition that we are about to experience. There's going to be a shift where a lot of true souls can leave this realm. Fuck even the realm, the whole simulation. We're going to be able to leave the whole simulation, and that's your rapture, bro. And the elites, they can't leave. The cabal, they can't leave. They are fallen angels. So they have to create another world, a simulation. So they want to get us hooked up into that through nanotechnology, cyber sorcery, Neuralink. But now back to weapons. So for this global reset created by the government, they need to depopulate. They need to make the last people that are remaining easily controllable to put into the next simulation. So they need a depopulation event. So they'll send out their sleeper agents from MK Ultra. They'll send out the sleeper agents from Project Monarch. It's all gonna hit the fan, bro, because these sleeper agents are going to be shooting up places. They are going to be setting places on fire. Now that's where the hybrid phase comes into also, either during or after the sleeper agent. Probably during the sleeper agent, that would make sense. But they'll send the hybrids up, the hybrid kids, because, you know, all the missing children are connected. They're being hybridized, they're turning into special agents with psychic abilities and, like, super strength, super speed, all types of stuff. So these kids would also be sent out, these child soldiers, and they will be eating people. And this is where you get the zombie apocalypse from. This is where you get the zombie apocalypse from. This is where also Project Bluebeam would perfectly fall into place. But they would easily be able to blame all these deaths, cannibalistic acts, on the aliens. They'll be able to, on the aliens, by the way. Aliens are not coming from space. Like, they're gonna say that this, during the zombie apocalypse, that we're under attack by aliens. It's gonna be some crazy bullshit.
The very young children, what they are essentially turning into, unfortunately, and this is why I called this the mini zombie apocalypse, what they're essentially turning into are something akin to vampires. Because that's what the Nephilim are. They're essentially vampires. This goes back to, right, things like the biblical Amalekites, right? What were they doing? They were called blood lickers, blood drinkers, right? Flesh eaters. And I have the Christian ritual of eating the flesh and drinking the blood, right? What is that ultimately? It's cannibalism, it's vampirism. Children are, they're coming in more psychic, more telepathic. Some people call it the crystalline or rainbow children. The severe forms are increasing, and it's, again, the nonverbalism and the biting. The biting is going to get worse, so much worse, to the extent that what I saw is that eventually it's going to get so bad that when a parent tries to discipline their child, smack them moderately in the tush to, make them stop the bad behavior, I see the child quite literally grabbing the adult, biting their wrist so hard to the point where blood is drawn and flesh is ripped off. Here's where it gets creepier. The child will chew that flesh that he just ripped off, he just bit off. He will chew it and swallow it. In other words, the children are going to start getting a craving for raw flesh. They're going to throw a lot of tantrums and temper tantrums, sort of like how the demiurge is throwing a lot of tantrums in the sky, sending all of these solar flares and CMEs and things like that, auroras.
Well, I guess I lied. That wasn't the last time you guys would see me. Is there a fucking truck coming again? Okay. Through this way. Alright, look, what I want to basically tell you guys really fast is the reason I was put on at a young age was not only because of the stuff I would experience, but also with the show my dad put me on to, my stepfather, The X-Files. Aleister Crowley, a very well-known occultist, I am trying to tell you guys, everything is a script down to the fucking Bible. From our TV shows, I'm trying to keep it a buck, bro. Aleister Crowley, a lot of these secret societies put the truth in non-fiction books. They put it in sci-fi. They put it in all types of media that you would see as entertainment, when in reality, it's, well, fucking reality. It's like a reverse psychology type of thing, black magic. It's really fucked up because when you experience shit like me and you still sit here and see people taking that shit as like science fiction or... Honestly, I know I said I was going to cut myself out after that last clip of myself, but I'm just trying to tell y'all, man, I could feel it in my bones, like literally. I got one of the vaccines, okay? A few years ago. Back when everything happened, when I told y'all I was in the psych ward, I don't know if I cut that part out or not, but I did talk about how I was in the psych ward. And they had ambushed me with questions talking about do I believe I can astral project? Do I believe people can listen to my thoughts? Do I believe this is like a matrix and some shit? Like, they were hitting me with everything. Injected me with my left arm, and bro, my whole body, bro, like my whole left side, man. Ever since then, like, that joint been like, after that happened, I think it was a week or two back at home, and the person I was with that we were fostering, the right, the left side, god damn, like, I can really feel this shit right now, because, like, I'm in the sun, I'm sun gazing right now, I'm getting detox, so I can really feel it in, like, my rib cage type shit. It's like this heavy energy sitting on you. That's what it, like, it just feels like pressure crushing you, man. But anyway, after the whole psych ward experience and all that shit, like a few weeks in, like, I was talking to I was talking to my foster brother at the time, my brother, my bad. I told him, bro, it feels like my third eye is like collapsing. He was like, what? He was playing my game at the time. I'm like, bro, it feels like my third eye collapsing, bro. I'm like, bro, at the time, bro, I swear to God, I can still feel it now every day. Like, I feel it right now, like, as the sun is hitting my shit, nigga. Like, I feel the pressure, but like, it was like my third, like, my actual pineal gland was collapsing down and down, like, bro, whole body mutating. I can't tell you if it was from the vaccine or if it was just from all I know is everything's been different since then. And I feel myself fighting every day mentally. And just what it comes down to, man, is these vaccines and shit, like, they carry the DNA and knowledge of these beings. Like, this whole chosen one thing, man. It's the same as the rapture. They're gonna gather everybody up. Project Bluebeam. They're gonna gather everybody up into a mass sacrifice. I'm hoping there is a true, like, an actual, like, godly rapture, but I already know there's gonna be 1,000% an artificial rapture, and it's gonna be a mass bloodbath, a fucking sacrifice. All I can tell you guys is, like, have faith there is a creator, but also know that there are archons. There is the demiurge. You need to look this stuff up. You need to fast from the parasites, from the technology that's in you, the nanotechnology, the microplastics. That's the best advice I got right now. Get your own land, know your rights. Get a bunch of fucking land. Get your copper, silver, gold. Like I said, everything is in the media too. So watch Civil War. Watch Leave the World Behind. They got the movie Disclosure Day coming out. Watch the X-Files especially. That is one thing I will say. The X-Files already explains everything that's going to happen, especially the movie Fight the Future. Hybrids, nigga. We are becoming the aliens. And it's a mass psyop for some slavery, Zionist. Bruh, I'm not even going to get this right now because my shift is about to start, but I'm enjoying nature right now. So